So welcome everyone to episode 2 of Revival's podcast with me and Erin and our special guest, Metal Monkey. Lovely to have you both here. If you'd just like to introduce yourself first. We've got the amazing Andrea.
Thank you.
And we've got the amazing Zen.
I'll let you introduce us.
Okay. Well, Andrew's Metal Monkey.
Okay.
Which is a movement platform, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm Zen, her husband, and I'm a physiotherapist with a physio clinic in Liverpool.
Amazing.
Yeah, I keep
Yeah.
stop that. So,
okay.
You know what?
Yeah, it's okay.
He said stop the...
Okay, so tell me a little bit about Metal Monkey.
Metal Monkey.
Yeah. Tell me how it started and how it's evolved.
I'll try and keep this really short because I'll probably go off on a tangent. Metal Monkey. So first of all, the name comes from I am half Chinese. So I am a metal monkey in the Chinese horoscopes. He's also a metal monkey.
Oh, I love
Wow,
that.
lovely
That's
man.
amazing.
So we're two metal monkeys together. And the name also correlates with movement, so how we are designed to move. So when we were apes and we've evolved from that, so, you know, hip joints, feet.
Fluid movement, isn't it? It's a fluid movement. It's
Yeah.
moving how we're supposed to move, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how we've lost it.
Yeah, over time.
Yeah,
Definitely. So for you, like, what is movement? What is movement for Metal Monkey?
What is movement? So moving the way we are designed, moving our joints the way we are designed to. I feel like a lot of people, no matter what age you are, we have lost that our sort of design.
Yeah.
You know, we spend a lot of time in chairs, don't we? We spend a lot of time in cars, and then we go and hammer ourselves in the gym,
Yeah.
and then we get all these injuries. So the platform that I've got is all about bringing people back to how we are designed to move.
Okay. And it's really, you know, it's something that I've been trying to tap into lately. So, you know, I'm just turned 40 and I've trained all my life in gyms, weights, heavy as you can.
Yeah.
And I'm now starting to get consciously thinking, you know, I want to be able to, when in another 20 years, I want to be able to move.
That's it.
Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't want to be stuck. I don't want to be like muscly. I want to still be free.
Yeah.
Still want to be able to walk. Still want to be able to run.
Yeah.
So, like, recently I've been doing like a men's Pilates class with Erin, trying to like get that movement.
Yeah.
It's not going really well because my hips are really sore.
That's it.
But
Yeah.
it's that movement that we're not doing. That's why it's so tough for me right now.
Yeah.
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 So I'm imagining it's more or less that sort of stuff that you're creating.
Yeah. So we've got an online platform. So Zen does a lot of the classes as well, don't you? Physio, rehab
so
classes.
We've tried to combine the two things. So Andrew's obviously background is yoga. And there's a traditional stigma with that, which is long-held poses for a long period of time, you know, hour classes. And what we've tried to do is kind of create something that's different. So I'm bringing more of like a medical background to it, whereas Andrew's bringing the more yoga flow.
And the
movement.
short, the classes. So it's very achievable to get into your day. So I find a lot of the clients that I have, they're thinking, oh God, I can't do a half an hour. I can't do like an hour. It's not really achievable, is it?
Yeah.
And if you've got kids and things, it's very hard to fit in. You've got your gym, all these things. So this is a bite-sized class that you can easily fit into your day.
So I've been a member of your platform for about 18 months now, I'd say, Andrea. And I think what you've just said hit the nail on the head for me as a busy mum, you know, working mum. It's having that time to focus on your stretching and your mobility. And I think what you've created is amazing because there's no excuses. You can fit it around your schedule at any point.
Yeah.
So that's why I love it. And then you also do like your in-person. We do get up close and personal in them sessions, not going to lie.
Yeah.
So the first thing I do with anyone who comes to see me is I ask them to take their shoes and their socks off, which I know sounds a bit funny, but because your feet are so important.
Yeah.
So I've got clients that are as young as 18, and then I've got clients that are, I'm trying to think of the oldest one, probably 70 odd. And when you look at someone's feet, it tells you a lot about how they move.
Tells you the story.
I'm obsessed with feet.
Okay.
So I'm obsessed with, what's that
I'm desperate to get mine out now.
Well,
See
I'm
where I'm at.
dying to see your feet.
Yeah.
So he's just taught me this big toe stretch, which I taught on one of the classes. I'm not sure if you've done it yet. So the big toe stretch, I'm obsessed with.
Okay.
Because your big toe, I'll let you explain how your feet should move.
Yeah, well, it's
toes.
It's FHL, which is your flexor tendon for your big toe. And if you think when you're running or walking, it's called the windlass mechanism, which is your big toe has to extend massively, but then be allowed to kind of produce a massive amount of force to allow you to propel forwards. And the amount of people that just don't have that ability to just perform
It's
that movement.
massive.
It's crazy, that,
And
isn't
then
it?
that travels up the body.
Yeah.
That tension.
So
that
if you
rigidity.
can stretch your big toe, which is called your hallux joint, if you can stretch that 90 to 90
Yeah,
degrees,
somewhere
is
around
that
there,
right? That's really good.
I'm just
Okay.
stretching
Should we
mine
test
now.
your
I
big-
know.
Come on,
It's
test your
just
big
bringing
toe.
that awareness to the big
Just
toe,
put your
innit?
foot on the table and let's have a look.
So over time, would I be right in thinking like shoes and stuff have limited that also?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
massively. Yeah, shoes, working postures, and also just even your beliefs. Like, you think of girls with high heels,
Yeah.
jamming your toes into that.
Squeezing your
Yeah.
toes into those
Yeah.
shoes, it's so bad for
Yeah.
But also grounding. Grounding comes with your
you.
feet.
Massive.
And
massive.
if we don't know how to use our feet, is that why we're disconnected from nature and the earth
100%.
also?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is interesting.
there's that, and then also your ability to actually kind of use the intrinsic muscles of your foot to be balanced.
Yeah.
So when we had the kids, I was all about having shoes on their feet. It was like an obsession.
Yeah.
I thought, I can't wait to get them in shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when they were like tiny, tiny babies, I couldn't wait to put their little feet into
Yeah.
shoes.
Yeah.
And he was like, get those shoes
them
off the
off,
kids
yeah.
because
Yeah.
they need to be
Free.
splaying their toes and walking and
There's
all of
nothing better
that.
than seeing your kid come in with dirty feet.
No.
Not for her. with-
No, yeah.
It is, I believe that now, but I need
And
it, yeah.
it's also a generational thing, that isn't it? Because when we were
Definitely.
kids, like
My
when
mum
you
used to-
come in,
yeah,
you come in
yeah.
on a Sunday getting ready for school, and you were black,
Yeah.
literally with mud everywhere. Where now the kids aren't doing that; they're not
No.
playing out.
No.
They're playing in
Exactly.
bedrooms. They don't get dirty,
All
and
of
then
this.
100%,
that
yeah.
goes into so many other avenues we could go into. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
That's a whole other
yeah,
conversation.
but it's interesting because like over time, shoes have become more rigid and stuck. So obviously that creates less movement for our toes and feet.
So if you have a look at the pumps that kids wear, like our kids' pumps, they're so hard in the sole, so you cannot move the shoe at
Yeah,
all.
Yeah.
Then you've got the toe box as well. It squeezes their toes in,
Yeah.
so they can't press through. So all these have a massive
Because
complication.
obviously shoes have become about fashion, not about
Function.
function.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's you also get if you look at the heel is normally quite a lot higher than the toe.
Yeah.
Now, from a biomechanics point of view, from a physio point of view, that has its place with people that have pathology and injuries. But again, why are we raising the heel up of people that have no injuries to start with?
Yeah.
So a question for me. So no one really teaches you how to walk, do we? When we're first born, it just comes, and then over
Yeah.
time, are we doing stuff to our children to make our feet turn out, or should they be straight?
That's a really good question.
That's a question for
Because
you,
it's-
not me.
In all honesty, there's no right answer to that.
Okay.
Because you can have people with turned out feet or turned in feet, and that can come from the femur, because you can have what's called an anteverted or a retroverted femur, which is where the femur, the bone is actually shaped slightly rotated internally or externally.
Okay.
So if someone's like that, then you can't really change that much.
Yeah.
Having said that, there are things we're doing which are making our children and ourselves more predisposed to long-term overuse issues
Yeah.
or overload issues, 100%.
Yeah, because I seem to, when I walk, mine turn out.
Tend to turn,
And when I
yeah.
try and concentrate on them going straight, then it creates more problems on the side,
hip.
in my hip.
Yeah.
It like almost like an ache.
So
Yeah.
he tells me every morning we walk to school, and he walks
It's
behind
fun
me.
walking to school with
And
them.
he looks at my gait and he's like, Andrea, what are you doing with that left foot? I'm like throwing it out.
Flicking
Just
it.
one
I
side.
don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like a Ronald McDonald.
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Goes like that.
Yeah, so whenever I'm the same, whenever I'm behind my kids or in front of
Watching.
the kids go, your feet go out that way. And I'm like, no, they don't. They definitely
Ronald
do.
McDonald.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's argument also, you know, we've got the ideal perfect, but no one's perfect.
Yeah.
You know, we're not meant to be symmetrical. We're not meant to be perfect. And again, we've built up this image of what we should be moving like. There are varying degrees from that, but there are always things you can kind of do to improve upon it.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned before, it's
Less shoes.
Yeah, less shoes in the right
More
circumstances. Yeah, 100%.
Obviously, weight can add to that as well. Can be a factor. Maybe weight, would that make a factor to your feet?
Carrying more weight.
Body weight.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's about control. It's power to weight, isn't it? So it's all about control. If someone's I can't remember her name, but a while ago, the female world record holder for marathons, when she ran gait biomechanically, she looked awful.
Yeah.
But she was getting no injuries and she was breaking world records, personal best. It's kind of like there is some nuance to it, but there's always stuff you can improve upon.
Yeah.
It's about your control. So if someone's collapsing a little bit, but they're controlled, that's fine. It's when people are moving with no control, which comes back to the whole thing of how we're supposed to move.
Yeah.
Mobility with stability.
Strength, yeah.
Whereas, like, as a guy similar to you, you grow up and it's just exercise for body beautiful.
Yeah.
The V shape, the pecs, the shoulders.
Yeah.
You're filling the t-shirt, you know, the Friday night t-shirt workout.
Yeah. Friday pump.
That's it.
Friday pump. Saturday it's gone. Think, why did they do Friday pump? It's not there.
But it's like you said there, the work, the way we're trying to educate people is about kind of training or movement for function rather than for beauty.
Yeah, it's for me, like, it's the awareness around, because without the awareness you can't do anything with it. Like, for me, I can't wait to stand up when we finish so you can tell me about my feet, because it's you brought the awareness to me.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see your feet.
We'll have to put stills up later. But it's just that awareness. For me, awareness is everything. And until you meet people and you're aware of why something is moving or what you can do to help your situation, like how are you ever meant to fix something? Because we don't live in a society. We just walk, and there's not many people out there that
blinkers are down.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm using these to get to the next place as fast as I can.
Yes, yeah.
But I'm not actually. There's no. Is it longevity in why I'm using these? It's always like, I want to get there as fast as I can because I'm in a rush. But actually, you could actually save years on your life by using your feet with your movement side and your flexibility by bringing the awareness there in the first place.
Yeah, and it's having that thought process for the whole body as well.
Yeah.
Because again, if you're dominant upper body in your work and your daily life, then you need to be addressing your upper body as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
shoulders,
we're talking
hips,
feet, but
back,
all over.
But we talk feet like kinetic chain. What's the first thing that hits the floor? Your feet.
That's connection to
it. Reaction forces and
yeah.
everything. You know, what you put into the ground comes back up through you.
Yeah, the grounding. Yeah.
And from grounding. So it's, if you've got any weakness or any issues, that's just going to be magnified at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's I'm going to stop there.
While we're on the subject of feet, I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to bring in the rainforest room, what you've both just been in, because I know you said before that you suffer with your feet normally in an ice bath.
So I've done lots of ice baths. I've been doing them since lockdown.
Yeah,
would you say?
2020.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm quite experienced at ice baths. Normally the temperature is normally about -6. But I've got an issue.
-6.
-6.
No, 6 degrees.
Wow. She's amazing.
She's flying to Iceland just to do an ice bath.
6 degrees.
Yeah.
So it's normally 6 degrees.
Yeah.
But I'm going to hold my hands up here. I normally put something on my feet.
Yeah.
So I cheat. No one knows this because I never show it on my Instagram. But I normally put the booties on my feet.
Yeah.
Just because the feeling of putting your feet in cold water, it feels like you are being stabbed 1,000 times.
Yeah.
It's unbearable. So we've now just got into your ice bath, which is
0.3.
0.3. So it's by far the coldest I've ever been in. I did not feel any pain in my feet at all, which is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But that's because you were talking me through and I felt so calm. I actually can't believe it,
I know.
how calm I felt.
Instantly as well, wasn't it? For
And
the
you were
whole
the same,
time.
weren't you, with your feet?
Yeah, I normally struggle with my feet as well, really similarly, quite badly.
It's horrendous.
Yeah, but again, I was saying earlier to you, my thought process just wasn't on that. It was just a clear blank space, just purely around the
that's
breath.
It was
Amazing.
calming, like the most calming experience. The only thing I compare it to, and I said this to Zen in the sauna then, most people watching that you might... The only time I can compare it to is when we had our first child. So I was very much in the kind of mindset, I can do this, I'm going to breathe. So I was like breathing into it. And it was the most incredible experience of my life.
Yeah.
And I can compare getting in your ice bath exactly
Wow.
to that.
Wow.
I
That's
felt
amazing.
completely at one with myself.
Yeah.
And that makes so much
That's
sense to me though, because of if you can connect to your body can deal with anything. But when you're not
100%.
connected to your body and you're in your head, it's too uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's just too uncomfortable. There's
Yeah.
too much pain. It'll create pain for you
Yeah.
to stop you doing something. It creates more uncomfortable. Where when you connect to the breath and you create that presence and the safety and you're just concentrating on that breath dropping into your body, it's like
It changes
we're
everything.
designed to go through
Pain.
pain.
Yeah.
But can we breathe through it? Can we sit with it? Can we sit in the part in your body where you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna breathe. I'm just gonna keep breathing. And the breath is amazing for coming out of the head and into the heart.
100%.
So it's like it makes so much sense. I haven't had a baby, but
Well,
I can
it's
imagine I
very
could do it.
painful. It's very painful, but 100% you could give birth with no pain relief.
But like, what did it create after it? What was the feeling after it? Because people, when we've brought people in before, they'll do it. They won't have time to do it before they come in the podcast room. But I always think it's a great way to do it before the podcast because for me it's very spiritual and it can open you up.
Yeah. So for me, I felt calm. So I'm quite a stressy person. And this whole situation, even though I'm confident and I can teach, but this situation I'm horrendous in on. I can't speak. I can't get a word out. I've got a speech impediment and I cannot get a word out in these kind of environments. So I did a podcast last year, was it? It was the most horrendous experience of my life.
Wow.
I can't even tell you. It was horrendous, wasn't it? I cried my eyes out. I cried my eyes out for about a week afterwards because I couldn't speak on it.
Yeah.
I just couldn't speak. I could not get a word out. So I'd planned it. I planned what I was going to say.
Yeah.
It was the worst experience of my life. I actually feel choked up just talking.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
horrendous.
You can see that emotion.
But this, I feel like chilled.
Can do anything after that ice bath.
I feel like I
Yeah.
could absolutely achieve anything, which is not like me, is it? We've been talking about this podcast for the past week. I'm on a roll.
No.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about this podcast. I'm saying you've got to come, you've got to hold my hand. Like
Need
I
the
can't
safety
talk.
net.
You've got to talk for me. I can't speak. I've got my stutter. I've got this. He said, "It's okay, Andrea." He said, "Whenever you're going to get a word out," he said, "just bang your chest."
Or I'll lean across and just slap you.
Yeah.
So we've been laughing about, but I feel this immense sense of calm, which I've never experienced apart from when I had my first baby.
Wow.
And I felt, honest to God, I felt like, I can't even tell you, like superhuman.
Like
He
you
just
can do
flew out
anything.
of me and I loved it.
Yeah.
I was actually shaking. I was that like, hi. And I feel a bit the same.
Amazing. Because I wouldn't have even like noticed or what you were saying about your speech. So like,
Oh, it's there all the
it's just
time.
like, wow.
Yeah. so-
It just shows you the power of like when we can control our nervous system.
That's it.
We can
That's so
control a
it.
lot. And like the biggest thing for me with the ice bath is like if you can get in there and drop in, like there's utter chaos going around you.
Yeah.
But if you're in here, there's no chaos.
Yeah.
So the chaos is all on the outside.
So also, I'd just like to say, I think you need you in there to talk you through that.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'd be able to do that on my own right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I need the guide from
Yeah.
you just to talk you through the
Yeah.
calming of the breath and the focus, because that really helps
Well,
to bring you back.
Like you said, it's the knowledge that we've brought your attention to your feet.
Yeah.
You've now brought our attention more to around the kind of breathing and the kind of the focus.
Which you kind of know, but you lose it, don't you?
Yeah.
You just give in.
Yeah.
Because what happens
'cause you're on your own.
when you
Yeah.
drop into that chaos, the first thing you do, unless the awareness is there, you move your eyes, and when you move your eyes, you forget to breathe, and when you forget to breathe, and then when you
It's
do
the
that,
pain.
it's like panic, and then it's just a cycle of like, whoa, and it's
And then
this.
you're literally watching
It's
the clock
just
as well.
your
It's
mind.
Just fighting.
That is so true. You just,
You're
It's just
fighting
your mind
time.
taking.
Lose
Yeah, even
everything.
the way it turns the timer away and you can't see it, I think
So you
that
can't-
massively helps.
yeah.
Because otherwise you're counting every single second, aren't you?
And it's
on
a
countdown.
long second.
It is
Yeah.
the longest second ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for you, Zen?
I would say the same in the sense of Andrew was asking me afterwards, and I feel really, really super calm.
He's
Very
calm
zen.
anyway.
Yeah.
Zen.
Very zen. I love that.
The only thing I can experience it or kind of related to was I did a skydive years ago, and
Wow.
the instructor said afterwards, "How do you feel?" And I was just, everyone was like whooping around, and I was just like, "Wow, the earth is like." I was just like, wow. I felt really. I'm not a spiritual person,
Yeah.
but I was like, I feel like quite a hippie right now. I felt very just. It was just like no thoughts, clarity, but nothing. It was a very meditative space.
Yeah. Presence.
And I was like, that's the first time in God knows how long where I've just been like, I've not had a thought about anything.
Yeah.
It's just been that space in me and just pure calm.
Amazing.
Incredible. Absolutely
Thank you.
incredible.
Thank you so
But
much.
like we were saying there, I don't think we've been to other places where you can have a sauna and an ice bath straight away at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I don't think you get the same experience of that because you're not able to, if people are, they're jumping around you,
Yeah.
there's more distraction going on. And also then the temperature that cold? No.
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 Nowhere
No,
near.
I've never been anywhere that's as cold as that.
So again, it's almost like a bit of a fight against, can I just make that time and then get back in the tournament?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas this was just a total different mental experience.
Amazing. Thank you both for agreeing to go in.
Thank-
First of all, that's a
thank
massive
you.
step.
Yeah, thank you for guiding us in.
Yeah.
Talking about the chaos around the ice bath, how do you think that's going to... I heard you mention you got children.
Yeah.
How do you think that's going to help going home, dealing with the children, as well as running a business like you do? How does that affect? How's family life?
I probably come across as being, I don't know how you see me, Erin, but
Super
probably...
mum. Super mum. Absolute goals.
Would you call me super mum at home?
At
Would you call me?
Ah.
Would you call me angry mum?
Yeah.
Yeah.
the boys know you as angry mum.
Yeah.
You're the one that's
The
got-
boys
yeah.
know you.
Yeah.
I scream, I
Yeah.
shout,
Yeah.
because there's a
Yeah.
lot you have to think about all the time.
Yeah.
You've got all the WhatsApp groups with all the footballers.
Yeah.
But like, it is
Chaos.
horrendous.
Yeah.
It's horrendous. There's
Yeah.
things to think of all the
Yeah.
time. Then I've got all of this as well. Yeah, work, you, life.
Me.
Well,
I'm the biggest struggle.
Yeah, you're on top of the list.
I like doing it. Yeah, you were at the end. Did you notice? We're always at the end.
there's a lot to think about. So then I normally use the practice that I do in the morning and
Yeah.
my yoga practice, that is to set the tone. But what I find a lot of the time, you'll do your practice in the morning, the kids are walking in, there's things happening all the
Yeah.
time, so you never get that kind of headspace ever.
Yeah.
Switch
So
off.
I feel now that calm feeling, I'm like floating now, and I'm going to take that into the rest
Yeah.
of my day.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And like, obviously, how long has the business been going?
Metal Monkey. So I've been a yoga teacher now for, I qualified when I was 32, and I'll be 45 this year. How many
Do
years
the
is
maths,
that?
David.
13.
Yeah,
13, yeah.
years. So I've been a teacher for 13 years. Before that, I was a hairdresser.
Wow.
And I got into it through hot yoga.
Okay.
And then I kind of went down a bit of a rabbit hole with it. But Metal Monkey, the online, has been going for... He pushed me into it. So I was teaching privately at home, and that was a lot.
Yeah.
So we got a garden room converted, but I was teaching a person in, a person out all day long.
Yeah.
So I think at one point I had like a wait list in the garden. So they were literally queued up to come
Like a
in.
conveyor belt.
With umbrellas.
They're like a conveyor belt.
In and out.
So
Yeah.
you were teaching all day, then you've got the kids. It was a
it's
lot.
too
I just
much.
felt it was too much.
Yeah.
So he said, was it 3 years ago, you should move online?
Yeah, it was just after lockdown, wasn't it?
And I thought cameras, microphones, I
Not
won't be
your
able to
thing.
speak on
Yeah.
camera. I won't be able to get a connection with people. It's like my worst nightmare. But he pushed me into it, literally pushed me. He said, I'll get you the cameras, I'll get you this, I'll get you the platform. So he's like really forced me into
Backed into a
It's
corner.
encouragement.
encouraged me, forced me, pushed me.
But thank God he did.
So I'd say the first year was hard, wasn't it? Because I had to tech. It's the whole tech thing you've got to learn. Whereas now I feel like I'm just beginning to get into my flow with it now. And it's really beginning to grow, really, isn't it?
I think it's starting to boom now as well, because there's a bit of a stigma around mobility being for the older people, and I feel like now younger people are starting to get onto it.
100%.
Even like I'll be speaking to my friends, I've gone to Metal Monkey, and they're like, oh yeah, we know Andrea. So I think now it's starting to really come into its own, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think the thing is, when you hear the word mobility, you think of old
My dad
cars,
said that.
I just think wheelchair.
Yeah.
That's what I
Wheelchair,
think.
yeah,
Yeah, I
you
thought
do.
wheelchair straight away.
It's not something, but when I think of the word now, I think of my hips, I think of my shoulders.
Yeah.
You talk to someone who's 20
Yeah.
and you ask them how their hips are supposed to move. You ask them to sit into. So I do this I do this at football. I get parents
Squats.
to sit in a squat.
I knew you were going to say that.
Let me see your
Oh,
squat.
let's have David.
Let me see
David, go on.
I feel like I'm getting used on every scenario.
gonna have a look
at
Me
your feet
feet,
and
me
your
hips, me squat.
But most people,
You would really benefit though.
most people cannot squat.
Yeah.
They just cannot squat.
Yeah.
Now that is a natural human movement, isn't it? That we should be able to do. But most people have lost the what's the word? Inability. Yeah, they have. So the classes that I'm trying to teach, that I'm trying to get across, is to help all ages. So there's people 18, there's people 30, 40, 50, 60, to move their joints how we are designed to.
And why do you think it is that so many people are struggling with something as simple as a squat?
Because of how we live our lives.
Yeah.
So if you think of what you do during the day, so we literally get up in the morning, we sit there, we have our breakfast or coffee or Weetabix, whatever. Then we get up, then we get in a car. And we sit there in a car, driving. So our hips are fixed in a car.
Yeah.
Then we get up and we go to an office or
Sit down
wherever.
all day.
Sit down all day. Then we think, oh my God, I've got to exercise. So then you'll go and you'll absolutely thrash yourself in the gym.
Yeah.
So you'll do high rocks or whatever. I don't know, whatever everyone's doing. And you'll kill yourself in the gym. Then you'll go home.
And then you
you'll
don't
think,
bother stretching at the end
lie
either.
on the couch and I'll watch Netflix.
Yeah.
So you're doing nothing to take care of your mobility at all.
No.
So that's why a lot of...
Yeah, and that's
Go on.
someone who's healthy or perceived
Exactly.
as healthy.
That's a
Yeah.
healthy person.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the majority of people
Don't
in
even-
this country are not healthy,
Yeah.
and we don't even do that thrashing in the gym.
Yeah.
You know, and so you've got all those compound movements. When I say compound movements, not lifting, squatting, but the sitting, the sedentary activity or inactivity, and then they're not thrashing themselves in the gym, and so then you've got that compound of stiffness, rigidity. So my number one saying is motion is lotion, or movement is lubricant.
I like that.
Motion is
Motion is lotion. I'm
And so
going to say
it's-
that.
Yeah,
so
it's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
When we move, we literally lubricate our joints.
Yeah.
So the boring science bit now is with what Andrea's saying there is, again, it's like stretching. I don't even like saying stretching because
Nobody doesn't like that word.
That's a negative stigma because again, a lot of people when they say stretch, they're like,
I haven't got time to stretch.
well, what do you think of
Everyone
when you-
says it.
Yeah.
Everyone,
Yeah.
Stretching, I don't need that.
Yeah.
And what do you think of when you're stretching? You go back to PE when you're in
You
secondary
do,
school,
actually.
Warm-ups, don't you?
teacher
No one wants to
telling you
do a warm-up.
stretch for 30, 40 seconds.
Yeah.
And do you get any gains?
It's
No.
pointless.
No.
It's
Yeah,
pointless.
So it's about mobility because rhythmical oscillatory movements repeated lots
Rhythmical,
of
I
times
like that word as well.
over
I
a
know.
period of
Write all
time
these down.
Yeah.
creates the change. Every joint within the body, every synovial joint, which is basically your shoulder, your elbow, your wrist, your hand, your hip, your knee, your ankle, your feet, your spine, they're all synovial joints. And they all have like a little plastic bag around them, which is the capsule system. And they keep the liquid inside the joint, which is your synovial fluid. When you don't move, that literally dries up and stiffens and sort of becomes more viscous, more kind of stiff. When you move, it basically heats it up and moves it, and the membrane lubricates the joint, which basically you WD-40 your joints.
Yeah.
So if you think when you're 60, 70, 80, if you take care of your joints now, your hips, your shoulders, your spine can move how you did as a child, can't it, really? You know?
That's the thing I've been thinking about, because it's like everything we do is short-term goals. Most of our life is short-term goals, and it's like if we work the opposite way, if like there's a thing, there's a quote, and it's like don't be in your hospital bed waiting to die and have all your ghosts around you saying, I sent you that and you done nothing about it. Then I sent you that.
Yeah.
So it's like, can we look at another way and think, well, what can I fast forward as even there and think, what should I be doing to get more life?
Yeah.
And that's the movement's one of them, and it's like prevention.
Yeah.
To be able to move,
100%.
to just, you know.
So I'll tell you what I find now when I speak with a lot of clients that I have, people will spend large amounts of time and large amounts of cash on things like facials, nails, things that are going to make themselves, but they won't spend the time or the money on things that are internal.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just
sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
You alluded to it before, which is long-term behaviours and habits. If you think of us innately, we're designed to make short-term decisions based on, is it going to kill me or can I kill it?
Yeah.
Because we go back to ape.
Yeah.
Is this going to kill me or can I kill it to eat it?
Yeah.
So that's why smoking is an issue, drinking is an issue, that's why inactivity is an issue, because we don't see the negative response of it straight away.
Yeah.
So we then, and they're all addictive. I say all addictive. Alcohol, smoking.
Food now.
Yeah.
So massive.
So it's about how do you sort of break that stigma, and how do you kind of give some people an option to kind of go, well, you can do something that's just small little bite-sized little things. So instead of a 20-minute or 30-minute class, there's also the movement snacks Henry's created.
Yeah.
Movement snacks.
Movement snacks. So we launched that the beginning of this month, and basically movement snacks the classes are super short, 2 minutes, 4 minutes, you know, they're really, really short. But a lot of the people that are signed up now, they said they're doing one, then they're doing another, then they're doing another. So they're doing a lot more than what they actually were.
Because I think the hardest part is actually logging onto the app.
It is,
isn't it? Yeah. Getting it open on the laptop, and once you're there, it's like, this feels good. I want to do more.
Yeah. That's it.
So where do you see yourself going? What's the future hold?
Oh, there's a 5-year plan.
Okay.
There's always a plan. Where do I see? So for someone who never wanted to teach online or to do any of this now, I'm really beginning to enjoy, because I'm seeing the people that are signed up now are really enjoying the classes and they're really beginning to get the benefits out of them. So I see it growing and developing into something a lot more. So we've got plans now to not only help just flexibility, mobility, but also to help, say if you've had an operation, so say if you've had cancer or some type of major surgery, then you need a rehabilitation. So classes to help that. So my mum had cancer last year and she had major operation. She came out of hospital with no advice really off the doctors really at all. So she's just kind of left.
Yeah.
So we kind of got her on an exercise plan, and that's what I'd like to do. So I'd like to have something that you can offer people that have had surgery, people that are going through. So we've got my dad at the moment has got Parkinson's, something that can help him, something that can help people that have these ailments, and there's not a lot out there for them. So it's not just
yoga.
Well, it's not just yoga. It's not yoga. It's movement.
It's like life movement, isn't it?
Life movement.
It's life movement. It's like we're gonna help you move for life.
Yeah.
And have a better quality of life.
And educate people. You know, so like you said there, it's to bring awareness to, you can move like this. It's going to benefit you. These are the reasons why. But you can just do this for 30 seconds. 5 times a day, once a day, twice a day, or you could do an hour. depending on your situation.
Yeah.
And then as you feel the benefits of that, I mean, anyone in this room, do you feel bad after you've moved?
No.
Do you feel bad after going for a walk? Do you feel bad after going for a swim?
No.
No. And even when you're in pain, from a physio point of view, you know, the evidence shows physical activity helps with pain.
Yeah.
So there's an innate kind of humanistic, I suppose, base of movement helps.
Movement moves things as well.
Yeah.
For us, like I know for me, with teaching breathwork, movement moves things. You don't have to be breathing, you don't have to be doing any modalities, but movement moves things. And also, if your body's not moving, it's also stuck energy. So by moving in different ways, will release. It makes you feel good. That's why movement feels so good, because it moves things, and it moves stuff that's been stuck there for ages.
That's it.
Injuries, and like that's why when you go to a physio, when you feel so good after it, because you're like, oh, it's freed you up a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really interesting. I'd just like to thank you both for taking the time today to come to Revival. It's been absolutely amazing. It's been a pleasure to meet you both.
Thank you for having us.
I think for me, Andrea, you're someone that I really look up to within the industry. So being able to have this podcast with both you and Zen was amazing. I've learned so much, and I just really want to promote Metal Monkey because what you're doing is amazing. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for asking us.
I also feel like I'm going to be a customer. Once it stands up in a minute.
I'm dying to see these feet.
Definitely, yeah. Feet hurts.
Get them socks off.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, guys, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
And I feel like there's going to be more.
Yeah, I do.
Because it went so quick.
It did.
Feels like 5 minutes.
I know.
So yeah, amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.